Okay, sensors and connectivity. In the previous session, you completed the what is a sensor, what is a sensor node, the components of sensor node, and then how can you establish the connectivity between a different components. Here, uh, in the sensor node, you discussed about this concept, and then coming to the next important one, internet communication. Here, if it comes to the internet communication, you have a great idea. That means internet protocols. Previously discussed about the internet protocol. What is the internet protocol? And then what are the advantages of internet protocol? What are the disadvantages of this protocol? What is the layer? Which layer you are using IP protocol? And then what are the different versions of IP version 4, IP version 6. That means you discussed those concepts. Now you are going to know about the TCP and then TCP IP protocol suite. After that, you will know about the UDP. Here, these all protocols used to establishing the internet communication for establish the internet communication among the different IoT devices, you will use these three different protocols. Here, IP, TCP. After that, you will know about the TCP IP protocol suite. After that, you will identify in the user datagram protocol. That means these are all used to establishing the internet connectivity between the different IoT devices. Here coming to the TCP. What is the exact TCP? Transmission Control Protocol. It is a transport layer protocol. If you see the right side diagram, you will identify the different layers. Link layer. In the TCP/IP protocol suite, you will identify the link layer, internet layer, transport layer, application layer. Here, TCP is a transport layer protocol, transmission control protocol, and then it is a transport layer protocol which provides some facilities. What are the facilities provided by the TCP? Transmission of packets from source to destination. If you have in the one computer client, other computer receiver or server, that means you will transmitting the packets from source to destination. For this purpose, you are using the TCP. How can you transmit the information? TCP takes the information from the application layer. From the application layer, here it forms a packet. That packet transmit to the other layer. That is a simple information, and then it is a connection oriented protocol. What is the meaning here? That means it establishing the prior communication. Here, for example, before sending the messages, you have to there is establishing the connection. After completion of sending the messages, you have to close the connection. That's why it is a connection oriented protocol. That means you have to establishing the connection prior to communication. That means right side diagram identifies that there is a client and then server is there. The client request to set up the connection. Respond, that means it is a that's how can you getting the request here by using some synchronization number. It sends you some number. Based on the number, the client number, after that server gives a reply. What is the reply here? The number with the sequence number with the acknowledgement. After that, client and server sending the messages. That is a establishment of connection between the different IoT devices. And then this protocol used with the IP protocol. That means always it's a always you will use this protocol with IP protocol. So together they are called as a TCP IP. And then coming to the functionality of this protocol. What is the functionality of this protocol? To take the data from application layer. Here always taking the TCP main functionality here is a taking the data from the application layer and divide the data into several packets. Here taking the data from the application layer. The application layer, where it is application layer on top of the transport layer, you have application layer is there. takes the data from the application layer and then partitioning this data into several packets and provides a numbering to this packet. Finally, transmit this packet to destination. I think is it clear? First, it takes the information from the application layer and then divides the data into several packets and provides a numbering to this packet. Finally, transmit these packets to destination. That is a main important thing in a application TCP. And then not only that information is here, it will reassemble the packets here. That means after that it is getting the reassemble the packets and then transmit to application layer. This information transmit to application layer. The TCP is a connection oriented protocol. So the connection remains established until the communication is not complete between a sender and receiver. If communication completed, it terminates the connection. If communication not completed, then you have to establish the connection between a client and server. That is a main important thing in a TCP. Coming to the features of TCP protocol. What are the features in a TCP protocol? TCP is a reliable protocol. And then order of data is maintained in a TCP. And then connection orient. This is a one of the important features here is a connection oriented protocol. And then it is a full duplex protocol. And then stream oriented protocol. That is a simple features of this TCP protocol. The first important one, reliable protocol. It is a reliable protocol. Why it is reliable here? It's maintaining the flow control mechanism as well as the error control mechanism in a TCP. That means you are sending the packets from client to server or host, client to server. How can you send the packet here? The packet here is a it's having the based on the flow control mechanism. Flow control mechanism in the sense the TCP client sends a proper transmission of data from the sender to receiver. Here it's having the proper transmission of data. Coming to the error control. What is an error control here? Error control means the sender always, that means delivering the error-free data to the receiver. That is called here error control. Here the TCP maintains a flow control as well as the error control mechanism. That's why it is a reliable protocol. That means I think you have a great idea about computer networks. In the computer networks, you will identify the how can you establishing the flow control, how can you establishing the error control mechanism in a TCP. That is the proper transmission of data from the sender to receiver. That's why it is a reliable protocol, and then it supports a acknowledgement mechanism. That means it checks the state and the sound arrival of data. Here in this acknowledgement mechanism, the receiver sends a either positive or negative acknowledgement to the sender. That means always client receives a positive or negative acknowledgement. That means server, if it is a good, you are sending some information that is good, then it sends a positive acknowledgement. Here, if it is not good, it sends a negative acknowledgement. For example, your friend asking you, please give me 10,000. If you give, okay, then you give a positive acknowledgement. What is a positive acknowledgement? Thank you, sir, thank you, Ram. Like that is giving. If not, then is giving negative acknowledgement. What is a negative acknowledgement? Is not responding anything. That is a negative acknowledgement to the server. That is kind of communication here, so that the sender can get to know whether the data packets has been received or needs to resend. That's a information, that is a reliability. Order of data is maintained. This protocol ensures that the data reaches the intended receiver in the same order which it is sent. The order and numbers each segment so that the TCP layer on the destination side can reassemble them based on their ordering. That means it is reassemble the based on particular ordering of information. Next important one, connection oriented. Connection oriented. Before that, you have to establish the connection. Before communication, the connection oriented service means the data exchange occur only after the establishment of connection. How can you establish the connection? The first client sends a sequence number, and then server receives the number, and then it sends the server own sequence number with the acknowledgement. Server sequence number with the acknowledgement. In this way, you will establishing the connection between a client and a server. Here, when a data transfer is completed, then the connection which gets terminated. Here, after establishing the connection only, you will you will send a data from the client to server, server to client. After that, finally, you have to close the connection. You have to first you have to establish the connection. You have to close the connection. That's why it is a reliable. Next, full duplex. TCP is a full duplex. Full duplex, simplex. Simplex means you will send data from X to Y only. Half duplex means you will send data from X to Y. After that, you will send data from Y to X. X to Y. After that, Y to X. What about the full duplex mode? Full duplex in the sense you will send a data transfer. Data can be transferred in both directions at the same time. In this case, you will transfer the data simultaneously from the sender to receiver. You will transfer the data from the simultaneously at a time, just like a phone calls. If your person A made a call to B, here what is the thing here? A talking something. At the same time, we also talking something. The two different phone calls called as a full duplex communication. Here, in this way, you will establish the full duplex communication in a TCP. The next one is a stream oriented. The stream in the sense flow of data. The flow of data. Uh, TCP is a stream oriented protocol. It allows the sender to send a data in the form of stream of bytes. Here, always in the right side diagram shows that the stream of bytes always the TCP. Why? Because TCP takes the information from the application layer protocol. This information takes that one information and divided into different packets. After that, it sends the information to the other host, another host. Another host takes the information from the bottom layer and then reassemble that information and then send to the application layer. That process. This is a, I think this is a one computer. This is a another computer, and then it allows the receiver to accept the data in the form of string. Here, the sender sends a data in the form of stream of bytes, and then receiver takes the data in the form of stream of bytes. That's why it is a stream-oriented protocol. That means everything you are transferring from the sender to receiver to that means sender. That's a in the form of bytes. Here, stream bytes. That is a stream bytes. And then TCP is a stream-oriented protocol, as it allows the sender to send data in the form of stream of bytes. Okay, discuss that one. TCP creates an environment in which both sender and receiver connected by a tube known as a virtual circuit. Here, imaginary tube. Here you are taking the imaginary tube. That imaginary tube we call it as a virtual circuit. The virtual circuit carries a stream of bytes across the internet. Here you will identify a stream of bytes. Okay, if you open the command prompt, after that you will type the some IP address. Then it's a use a stream of bytes one after another. Everything transfer in the form of from the sender to receiver in form of bytes, and then working of TCP in a IoT system. Here, how the working principle. Here, in a TCP, connection is established by using three-way handshaking. Here, what is the three-way handshaking? The client send a request, not like that. The client sends a some sequence number, and then server receives that sequence number, and then the server sends a again sequence number plus acknowledgement. After that, the client sends again acknowledgement. Here, this is called here three-way handshake. Here, the client sends the segment with its sequence number first. Here, in the right side diagram shows that it sends a some bytes, it sends a some segments. Here sends a segment, and then the server sends a segment with the own number, the sequence number, own sequence number plus acknowledgement. It also sends a acknowledgement. Here in this diagram shows that first client sends a SYN. After that, server sends a SYN plus ACK. After that, client again sends a only ACK. Here, when the client receives the acknowledgement of its segment, then it sends a ACK to the server. That means just like a phone call, you are calling the hi, hello. After that, the receiver also sends a acknowledgement hi, hello. After that, you are getting the communication in this way. That is a way. In this way, the connection is established between a after that, the server receives that sequence number, and then it sends its own sequence number as well as the acknowledgement. After that, clients again sends a sequence number. That is a establishment, the connection establishment process in a TCP. And then we have some advantages are there. Already discussed those advantages. It is a connection oriented reliable service. That means reliable service means there is a guarantee the delivery of packets. Here, this means that there is a guarantee. If packet is lost across the network, then TCP will resend the lost packet. Here, it provides a flow control mechanism using sliding window protocol. And then it's
Hello.
hello, ma, is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
హలో సార్ బ్రేక్ అవుతుంది సార్ మీ వాయిస్.
బ్రేక్ అవుతుందా? ఇంటర్నెట్ కనెక్షన్ స్లోగా ఉందమ్మా.
ఓకే సార్. ఓకే సార్.
ఓకే, వాతావరణం కూల్ గా ఉన్నట్టుంది.
కూల్ ఉంది సార్. తిరుపతిలో కూడా
ఇప్పుడు ఓకేనా?
ఇప్పుడు ఓకే సార్.
ఓకే అమ్మా, దీస్ ఆర్ ఆల్ సమ్ ఆఫ్ ది అడ్వాంటేజెస్. హియర్ congestion by using network congestion avoidance algorithms. Here, these are all some of the advantages of TCP. And then disadvantages also there. It increases the large amount of overhead. Why? Because every time you have to establish the connection, you have to terminate the connection. In case of video streaming, that takes a large amount of space. That's why it takes a large amount of overhead as the segment gets its own TCP header. So the fragmentation by the router increases the overhead. That is a one disadvantages of TCP. And then if you refer these sites, and then the next important one, you completed the TCP, you completed the IP, then you have to know about the TCP IP protocol suite. Here TCP/IP protocol suite, here the communication protocol used in the internet similar to the computer network. That means in the IoT system, among the IoT systems also, the communication similar to computer network. It is a commonly known as a TCP/IP because the fundamental protocols in this suite are the TCP as well as the IP. That means the communication always establishing the in a different IoT devices by using TCP as well as the IP. That's why it is called here TCP/IP suite. Here, the Internet Protocol suite provides a end-to-end data communication. The specifying how data should be packed and addressed or transmitted, routed, and received. Here, that is a thing. And then the functionality is organized into 4 layers. Here, if you identify the 4 layers, link layer, and then internet layer, and then transport layer, finally application layer. Here organizing this protocol into different layer. Here in the link layer you'll identify the Ethernet, and then internet layer you'll identify the IP, and then transport layer you'll identify the TCP and UDP. Finally application layer you have a HTTP, POP3, SMTP, MQTT, DNS, DHCP, and then voice over IP. Like that, you have a different protocols available in a protocol suite. And then if you come from the lowest level, you have a link layer is there. Link layer having the Ethernet and then Wi-Fi. Here, what is a link layer? The link layer containing the communication methods for data that remains within a single network segment. Always, that means in the OSI reference model, the physical layer and data link layer combined together as a link layer. Here coming to the second important internet layer or network layer. Here provides in the internet working between independent networks. Here internet communication, it establishes the communication by using IP protocol. And then this is a transport layer protocol, next important. Here it establishing the host to host communication. Here for doing that host to host communication, TCP you are using as well as the UDP. The next we will discuss about the UDP. And then the very important one, application layer. Application layer providing the process to process data exchange for the applications. Here, that is a simple information about the different layers in a IP protocol suite. These are all different layers in a IP protocol suite. Here, what is the representation? What is the link layer? How can you establish the link? The communication methods. What is the internet layer? How can you establish the communication? And then transport layer, host to host communication, and then application layer. Application layer maintains a process to process communication. The next important one, very important concept in this case, user datagram protocol, UDP. Here, what is a UDP? TCP is a connection-oriented protocol. There is a possibility of establishment of connection, and there is a possibility here. Sends a SYN. After that, receives a SYN plus ACK. Again sends a SYN. That is a TCP. But UDP is a connectionless protocol. UDP stands for, what is the UDP? User Datagram Protocol. It's developed by David P. Reed, and then in the year 1980, and then it's deployed in RFC 768. It is a part of TCP/IP protocol. Why? Because for establishing the connection main protocol, TCP as well as the UDP, TCP as well as the IP. Here IP also communicate with the UDP. That's why UDP and IP. So it is a standard protocol over the internet. UDP protocol allows the computer application to send messages in the form of datagrams. Here in the TCP in the form of packets. Here you are sending the data in the form of datagrams from the mission to one mission to another mission over the internet protocol network. UDP is an alternative for the TCP. Why? Because the work, what is the difference between UDP and TCP? It is a connection-oriented protocol, TCP. This one, UDP, is a connection-less protocol. That is a different. Other thing here is a alternative communication. Like a TCP, UDP provides a set of rules that governs how data should be exchanged over the internet. For data exchangement, you are using this information. Here, the UDP works by encapsulating the data into packets, providing its own header information to the packet. Then this UDP packet is encapsulated to the IP packet. Encapsulating to the IP packet means here if you receive the IP packet, in addition to IP packet, it sends some header information that is called here segment and send this information to the destination. Both TCP and UDP sends a data over the internet protocol network. So it is known as a TCP IP and UDP IP. There are many differences between the two different protocols, UDP as well as the TCP. TCP is a process, UDP is a process to process communication. Here TCP host to host communication. And then UDP sends a messages in the form of datagram, but TCP sends a message in the form of packets. Here, other important thing here is a TCP is a connection oriented. This is a connection less protocol. The requirement for the UDP. What are the requirements here? UDP is a unreliable protocol. Unreliable. That means there is no guarantee whether a particular data reach the destination or not. Here it is, that's why it is an unreliable protocol. TCP is a reliable protocol, but you still require UDP in some cases. In which cases you require UDP? Here you are sending the data. That data will receive or not, you don't know. But even though you require the UDP in some cases, what are the cases here? Here UDP is a deployed where packets requires a large amount of bandwidth along with the actual data. For example, in a video streaming, acknowledging the thousands of packets is troublesome and waste lot of bandwidth. That means in the video streaming, every time you are giving the acknowledgement in the sense, and that takes a lot of that takes a lot of bandwidth. In case of video streaming, the loss of some packets could not create a problem. Here, even though it is lost, it's not create a problem. It can be ignored. That's why in the cases, you require the UDP protocol. And then in this case, the header format of UDP protocol. Here, this is a header format here. This format consists of different components, source port, destination port, length, checksum, and then it's having the what is the source number. It is a 16-bit information that 16-bit in the sense 2 bytes that identifies the which port is ignored to send the packet. The destination port number, which identifies the which port is going to accept the information. The second one, destination port. Here it is a 16-bit information which is used to identify the application level services on the destination mission. That is a representation of destination port. And then length. Length here, 2 bytes of length is there, which specify the entire length of a UDP packet. That includes header also. The minimum value for the would be 8 bytes as the size of it. Coming to the checksum, what is the necessity of checksum here? If data is accurate or not, for knowing that information, you are using the 16 bits checksum field. And then queuing UDP. That means what is the queuing UDP here? Numbers are used to distinguish different processes on the server and client. That means it is sending one number. After that, it receiving number plus acknowledgement. That is the thing. You know that UDP provides a process to process communication. Numbers are very important. Where it is important here for distinguish the different processes. Here, UDP provides a process to process communication. That's why the client generates a process that needs a services while server generates a process that provides a services. Here, the queue are available for the both processes. Here, in this case, you will have the two different queues are there. Here, in the queuing, you have a two different queues. The first queue is incoming. Here, if you see here diagram, first queue for the client, first queue having the incoming queue that receives the messages. And then the second queue is the outgoing queue that sends a messages. See here, the diagram indicates the incoming queue, outgoing queue. Two different queues available in a UDP. And then the queue function when process is running. If the process is running, the queue functioning. If process is terminated, then the queue also gets destroyed. If process is running, that means at the time of running the process, then only the queue existed. If the process terminated, the queue gets destroyed. That is a thing. And then the UDP handles
అంతే
the
అటెండెన్స్ పోయిందనుకో వేస్ట్ కదా మనకు జాబ్ వచ్చి కూడా.
UDP handles the sending and receiving the UDP packets with the help of following components. These are all different components: input queue, input module, control block module, control block table, output module. These are all different components for the UDP. That means handles the sending and receiving of packet. Here, what is the input queue? Here uses a set a queue for the each process. Input module. What is the input module here? Takes the user datagram from the IP and then it finds the information from the control block table of the same port. That is a input module. Coming to the control block module, manages the control block table. Control block table. Control block table contains the entry of open port. Output module is another one. Output module creates a sends the user datagram. Some of the disadvantages by using this UDP. What are the disadvantages? In this case, it is a unreliable. It's a unreliable delivery service. It does not provide any service to service of IP except UDP messages may be lost. Another disadvantage is here is a UDP messages may be lost or may be delayed or may be duplicated, can be out of order. It does not provide a reliable transport delivery service. It does not provide any acknowledgement or flow control mechanism. It does not provide a error control mechanism. Whatever may be the information, that means there is no guarantee. It's not reliable. That's a UDP. One advantages are there. It provides a minimum number of overheads. In case of data streaming, in case of video streaming, that is a simple information about the UDP. Here, if you need references, see the references. Thank you.